Welcome back to the Rodecast, guys. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm your host, Rod, as always. And in this video, we're going to be talking about one of the many wonderful externalities of ICE and immigration enforcement overall. And that is the collapse of immigrant and illegal owned businesses in the states that ICE and Border Patrol and other immigration agents have been conducting their operations. In this case, we're going to be looking at North Carolina. A bunch of losers are whining about the fact that their illegal based businesses, where the customer base was illegals, is now collapsing because of ICE operations. The same thing happened in Chicago, and it's happening now in North Carolina as well. We covered California as well, where when they were doing raids here earlier this year, the same thing was happening. Okay.
And many Latino business owners now say their community is living in fear after federal immigration enforcement operations in the Triangle.
They say many of their employees stayed home with their children instead of going to work. CBS 17's Shanila Kabir joins us live now with the impacts those business owners are seeing. Shanila.
Russ, Angela, many say there's a dark cloud hanging over the Spanish-speaking community here. Business owners and entrepreneurs who say they're limiting business operations or just shutting down entirely. And they stress that 3 days of no foot traffic translates to a large chunk of our local economy.
This is what happens when your local economy is based on illegal aliens and counting on their business. When the federal police come to collect them, they run and hide like the cockroaches that they are. And because they've done something wrong, that's why they're running and hiding. Everybody else is out and about and shopping. Real Americans. The fake ones who have been given permission to stay here or just sneaked in here with no permission, they're hiding in the basement.
Are afraid to leave their homes. Small businesses that are already doing everything they can to survive are losing customers and income because people are terrified of being in public spaces.
Business owners from
So what would you like us to do? Not enforce the federal law because you decided to base your entire business model on illegal aliens? Is this what I'm hearing? Or is this what you're requesting? Because if that's the request, the answer is clearly no, we're not going to stop doing it. Okay. And by the way, there's been some confusion about whether immigration operations are still happening in North Carolina. And the answer is yes, they are. But Border Patrol itself is moving on. People don't understand, apparently, that Border Patrol and ICE are two different organizations. Okay. Border Patrol hit North Carolina hard and they're moving on to New Orleans. ICE operations are now starting up in North Carolina. Both things can happen at the same time. Okay. ICE has not been very active in North Carolina, but now they are. Now that Border Patrol has left for New Orleans, for Louisiana, ICE is now starting up their operations in North Carolina.
from all over the Triangle came together today to speak out about their experiences after federal immigrant agents were seen in the Triangle this week.
Streets were quiet, families stayed indoors, workplaces were half empty.
A nail tech based out of
Awesome. People don't get to be assaulted by their hideous language and see their ugly faces everywhere. Awesome. They think this is all stuff that we're supposed to feel bad about, but everything you're describing sounds awesome. That you are nowhere in sight and your horrible language and your horrible, disgusting selves cannot be seen anywhere. That's wonderful news. Okay, that is not something to cry about. They think that's something to cry about because they think they're so special that we want to see them out and about. We don't want to see you anywhere in this country. Get the hell out of here and go back to where you came in from.
federal immigrant agents were seen in the Triangle this week.
Streets were
It's not federal immigrant agents, it's federal immigration agents, man. Even the reporters can't get the freaking names right. Of course, this one's a Middle Easterner? Yeah, so she can't speak English.
To speak out about their experiences after federal immigrant agents were seen in the Triangle this week.
streets were quiet, families stayed indoors, workplaces were half empty.
A nail
Awesome.
tech based out of Durham says most of her clients are afraid to come to their appointments.
I wonder
This
why.
week, I had to shut down my doors of my business because ICE was raiding our neighborhood.
Good,
Clients did not feel safe
good.
driving down the street or
Good.
even driving near Liberty Street.
One
Good.
Raleigh man says he owns 12
You shouldn't even own a business here in the first place. Okay, you shouldn't even own that business space should be reserved for an actual American. We need to stop giving out business license to anybody who hasn't been here for at least 5 generations. Okay, that would solve all of our problems. None of these people would ever be able to start a business here. That's one of the many ways. And 5 generations, I'm being kind. Okay, my family has been here for 15. So, but nevertheless, I'm being kind when I say 5 generations.
Driving down the street or even driving near Liberty Street.
One Raleigh man says he owns 12 restaurants across the triangle, and every single one of them has been impacted. He says his sales are down by at least 10%.
Some of my restaurants closed some of the time. Yesterday, we opened drive-thrus in certain restaurants. And you know what is strange about this? Even
Nothing is strange about this, Mr. Iranian. Nothing. I think it's awesome.
the people who are having the right papers and documented and permitted to work are fearful.
Dr. Ghanem says,
Yeah, having work permits doesn't mean that you're legal to be here. This dummy apparently doesn't understand, or he's lying, whichever one it is. And by the way, I don't care if they're legal or not. They're immigrants and they're not supposed to be here. Okay. But the law does care about it. Okay. So if you are actually legal, then you don't have anything to fear.
he's not worried about losing profits, but he's afraid for his community and work.
He's a businessman with 12 restaurants, he said. And by the way, he shouldn't have any of those. But nevertheless, you are saying that you have owned 12 restaurants and you're whining in the media about your business being hurt and you don't care about profits. Please.
He says most of his employees are not coming to work.
The fear and the employees. I mean, the lady who came to me 2 days ago when this whole thing started, she said, I cannot work today. She had 3-4 cats. She stayed with them home.
Cats or kids? I think he meant to say kids. Again, can't speak English.
Thing started, she said, I cannot work today. She had 3-4 cats. She stayed with them
cats.
home. And they obviously all were living in fear together behind this locked door. And that
they don't have to live in fear if they go back to their own countries. All of this is because they have broken in here illegally. That's why all of this is happening. So her and her cats should go back to where they came from. Then they don't have to be afraid. It's very simple. Okay. These people have broken into our country, into George Washington's country. And now that the police are trying to get them out of here, they're afraid. That's a logical response. You should be afraid because you're a criminal. You've broken into a place where you don't belong. Okay, you're not one of us and you don't belong here. It's very simple. Same way that I don't belong in Mexico because I'm not a Mexican. Get it? Same thing with Guatemala, Japan, China, all these places. I'm not any of those groups. I don't have any of their blood. So I have no right to be in their land. And you have no right to be in our land.
we cannot measure. That is inhumane.
We're going to keep being more inhumane. Okay, their definition of inhumane. Their definition of humane is we should let the foreigners invade our country and do nothing about it. That's his definition because he is a foreigner here. That's why he can't speak English. Cats. But he thinks it's the best thing for us to do is to let them invade and do nothing about it. Not going to happen, Gramps. Not going to happen. We're going to clean you out and we don't care how much you cry about it.
I also spoke to a local immigration attorney who believes things are going to get much worse.
Oh,
he
he's
says many
right.
of his employees are DACA recipients. Those are young immigrants that came to the country as children and are safe from deportation. He said many of them are not.
They're safe for now. Okay. We need to get that up to the Supreme Court again so they can overturn it finally. Hopefully the Supreme Court fixes that. Let's go on to the next one. It's more crying from North Carolina. Specifically Charlotte, which is infested with these taco eaters.
Now at 5:30, the number of arrests during Operation Charlotte's Web surpassing 250. That does not include what happened today.
Today, Border Patrol agents making rounds in the high country. Before they rolled in, protesters lined a busy street in Boone. Coming up in 5 minutes, our Dave Faherty has an hour-by-hour look at the operation in the foothills.
More students are missing class this week. CMS now says 30,000 students were absent Monday and almost 26,000 were not in class yesterday.
That gives you an idea of how many illegals there are and their little spawns. Okay, because they're keeping their kids at school, even if they're anchor babies who are technically legal here for now, they're keeping the kids home because they're illegal and they're transferring that fear to the children. Most of these children are born here. They always pop out anchors when they get here. Okay, because they think that'll get them citizenship. And so, yeah, that's why the kids are not coming to school. And by the way, that means more spaces in school for actual American children. That's what that means. So they think it's a horrible thing that 30,000 didn't come to school. It was more than 30,000 actually. But that's a wonderful thing. That means that American kids who are really supposed to be here, they're going to get their proper education, at least for that day.
Monday, and almost 26,000.
Unfortunately, the ones who are missing are back in school. So that's the negative because Border Patrol has left. ICE operations continue, though.
Were not in class yesterday.
So there's been an impact not only on classroom attendance, some businesses have also seen an impact.
They say workers and customers are not showing up like they usually do. Our Joe Bruno is live in East Charlotte with more on that. Joe?
Yeah, tell us more, Joe.
Some places have been closed all week. Others, like Tacos El Nevado, made the decision to close relatively recently. They are planning to be closed throughout this CBP operation. But
awesome. Any place that sells tacos should be permanently shut down. There shouldn't be any tacos sold in America. This is not Mexico.
From the restaurant closures to the church pews, the immigration enforcement is having a community impact. Business is slow at this barber shop off South Boulevard. A barber tells Telemundo Charlotte and me that most of his clients are afraid to leave their homes.
People are scared. They aren't coming. A lot of customers aren't showing up anymore.
This Hispanic market off of South Boulevard is closed. A sign on the front door warns of ICE activity. Same with the Baleta restaurant.
It's really good food, actually. I was trying to get some breakfast, some lunch, and a drink.
Then Brian.
Of course, you think it's good food, essay. Okay, we don't think it's good food. We think it's terroristic food. Okay, and your accent is horrible too, by the way.
Barreto saw this sign saying the Honduran restaurant is closed for your security.
You know where a Honduran restaurant belongs? Say it with me. Honduras, not in America. That's why it's called a Honduran restaurant for a reason. Okay, that's where it belongs. People think it's normal that all these other disgusting cultures get to come here and open their hideous stores here. And it's totally normal. It's not normal. Honduran restaurants have nothing to do with America. And they should be back in Honduras where they belong. And if people want to eat Honduran food, they should go to Honduras if they love it so much. Same goes for all the Mexican lovers. Okay, you guys can get your asses over there. This is not Mexico. That's the bottom line. And your actions, I'm talking to the left, are slowly making America into Mexico. If we want to live in Mexico, we would all go to Mexico. But we don't. We want to live in America. Get it? There has to be clear lines about where nation states begin and what people occupy the land of that nation state.
And ours.
It's pretty freaking sad.
It's not just restaurants feeling the impact. Construction sites across the city look like this. Deserted. Our Lady of Guadalupe.
More construction jobs open for real Americans. And eventually, the contractors will have to hire American when there aren't any more illegals to satisfy the labor demand. So momentarily, they're empty, but they will be full eventually because construction companies need bodies and workers. That's just how the business goes. And they will have to deal with the market.
Guadalupe Catholic Church has canceled all activities outside of Mass.
Awesome.
Last Sunday's services drew 50 instead of the typical 500.
500.
Our Lady of Guadalupe is also seen in this mural on the side of...
Yeah, I guess your Lady of Guadalupe is not helping you at all, huh? Keep praying to her, though. Let's see if it helps.
Tacos El Nevado. It's always voted one of Charlotte's best taco places. But on Instagram, the popular restaurant's owner says he made the call to close it for now because of the CBP operation.
Awesome.
Back to Our Lady of Guadalupe Church. We are told by the church that if Border Patrol agents are ever spotted on their property, that they are to contact the bishop immediately so the bishop can contact the Vatican. Reporting live in East Charlotte.
Yeah, there's not a damn thing the Vatican can do about these activities, immigration activities. The Pope can keep whining. Pope Leo, Mr. Illegal Lover, can keep whining about it, but nothing is going to change materially. All right, last story.
Victor Rodriguez has become a fixture here in Mission Beach. He's owned La Playa for nearly 30 years. Last month, ICE detained him outside his National City home. He's been in custody ever since.
So this story comes from San Diego, where this taco shop owner has been detained, and they're crying about it and begging for his release. As if that's going to happen. He's been here illegal for 20 years or something like that. Or 30 years, he said?
Become a fixture here in Mission Beach. He's owned La Playa for nearly 30 years.
Nearly 30 years. He's owned a business here. Okay, taking a spot away from a real American. Not even supposed to be here. Straight up illegal who hopped the border. And he owned a business for nearly 30 years. This is happening. Okay, and when he's gone, And hopefully the entire thing collapses into the ground and his taco stand is no longer there. A real American can have that business spot.
Last month, ICE detained him outside his National City home. He's been in custody ever since. Victor Rodriguez Sr. spent every day working at La Playa Taco Shop. But for the past few weeks, tasks he would normally take on are now in the hands of his wife, Gabriela, along with fellow employees.
She says working as if that's a good thing. Okay, he shouldn't be here in the first place to work. Okay, I don't care about the work ethic. There are plenty of people in the world with great work ethics. They can't all break into America illegally and steal businesses away from us and real estate away from us. That's a storefront that could be going to a real American. That's my whole point here. So I don't care about their work ethic. They say this crap all the time. Oh, hardworking, tax-paying. You can keep your hard work in your own country, and I don't want your tax money. Okay, the Republican Party, the Chamber of Commerce, Republicans might want your tax money. I don't want your tax money. Take your tax money and your tacos and go back to your own country. Okay, this one is from Mexico. That's where you belong. And he flies Mexican flags inside his restaurant. Awesome, you're halfway there. Okay, now go fly them in Mexico.
This is the worst moments that happened to me. Victor has the support to me. It's my right hand, and I'm very sad.
On October 31st, ICE detained
Victor can be your right hand back in your own country. You guys can be together happily in a country where he didn't invade. Okay, back in Mexico where you all belong. Okay, it's amazing. They beg for mercy after they break into our country. That's like me doing a home invasion on you and then complaining about how rough you're being with me when you call the police. That's literally what they're doing here.
Victor outside his National City home. He's currently being held at the Otay Mesa Detention Center. His family has spoken to him, including during an in-person visit with his 3 children. They're worried, fearing he's being mistreated with inadequate food and care.
He's really sad, and he said he's losing weight.
Victor's family says he has no criminal history, pays taxes, and has all required permits to run La Playa. For years, they say the 54-year-old has tried unsuccessfully to become a citizen. While Gabriela was recently approved for the next step toward permanent residency, his applications have been denied. All 3 of their children were born in the United States, one of whom
3 anchors, of course. As soon as they get here, they lay down anchors. Okay, hoping that will help them be legal. Okay, we need to get rid of her and also all the children as well.
whom is scheduled to leave for Navy boot camp next month.
It's awful.
Yes, awesome. Another anchor baby joining the Navy. Disgusting.
This family, this business, Victor adds so much to our community. Everyone knows.
This guarantee, this MFer doesn't even speak English. And this hippie slash stoner, whatever this thing is over here, thinks that he added so much to the community. What the hell did he add? Another taco stand?
Leave for Navy boot camp next month.
It's awful. This family, this business, Victor adds so much to our community. Everyone knows him.
I'm going to do everything I can.
Since news of his detainment got out, customers have been stopping by offering support and resources.
We really need to examine our values. This is
Oh, I examine my values. You think it's okay for randos to break into our country. You're the one with messed up values. I have thoroughly examined my values. I defend the land and the country that my ancestors have built up. What the hell are you doing? You're up in here trying to defend a bunch of illegals who broke into our country. You're the one who needs to examine your values, Mr. Open Borders liberal.
a family man.
Some have also written letters in his defense.
We really need to examine our values. This is a family man who has a beautiful family, who works incredibly hard. This is a family-owned business.
A fundraiser.
I don't care what kind of families he has. He can have a family back in Mexico. This is not his country. He hopped the border to be here. He's an illegal. He's a lawbreaker. And I don't care about your sob stories about how beautiful his family is. He can have a beautiful family back in Mexico. Nobody's preventing him. That's where he belongs. That's where his family belongs. You can go back with him if you love him so much, though. You can go back.
Is underway to help pay for legal fees and operational costs. So far, it's collected more than $8,000 in donations. The family has hired an attorney, though it's unclear what the next steps are.
They can give him $1 million and 20 million attorneys, and it's not going to make any difference because the immigration judge, as soon as they hear that he's an economic migrant, going to deny his case, his application to remain here. Okay, and he's going to be given an order of removal, and he will be deported. That's what's going to happen. That's the next steps. And these people are so stupid that they don't even know that, so they're wasting their money. $8,000 raised for nothing. Nothing is going to change. He's going to be deported.
Reached out to the Department of Homeland Security, but they could not provide details on his case.
I hope everything's going well. He will meet soon and then give the opportunity to demonstrate he's a good man.
Shanahan.
Yeah, there are plenty of good people in the world. Doesn't mean they can come to America. I don't care how good your husband is. Victor and you can be together in your own country where you belong. Okay, they make this more difficult than it has to be because they want to be here in my country, in George Washington's country, where they built nothing. Okay, you have a country where your ancestors have built it up, but you want to break into mine and also steal business spaces and money from us. That's what you're doing. That's why we're mad at you. And also the fact that you are not from here. Your blood doesn't belong here. Okay, everything has its place in nature, and these people want to violate nature's laws and pretend like they belong anywhere. Like they can break into your house and they automatically belong, and we have to accept them. And if we don't accept them, we're racist. That's their argument. That's not good. That's not flying anymore. Okay, that's not flying anymore. I'm happy that Americans are becoming more patriotic and protecting their land. Okay, because that's what we're doing. And hopefully this continues even after Trump is out of office. Because it's going to take a long time to get all these foreigners out of here. But we need to do it because this is not their land. And we have to maintain standards here. Okay, everybody can't break into everybody else's land and mix. It's disgusting. I don't want a melting pot. I want America to be pure.
Most people have never heard of Deborah Sampson, and yet she was one of the earliest women to be enlisted with an army of the United States. Deborah was born on the 17th of December in 1760 in the house her grandparents had built in Plimpton, Massachusetts. She was descended from some of the Mayflower passengers, including Henry Sampson through her father Jonathan Sampson, and through her mother, Deborah Bradford, William Bradford, who had come from West Yorkshire in England and became the second governor of Plymouth Colony.
That's my perspective. But that's all I got to say for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a great weekend.